Welcome to the Reptile Habitat Management Handbook video guide. In this series, we'll explore how to create and maintain habitats that support Britain's native reptiles, including lizards and snakes. Whether you're a site manager, conservationist, or simply interested in wildlife, this handbook offers practical advice and insights. We'll cover the reasons for reptile declines, the importance of habitat structure, and the best management practices to encourage thriving reptile population. Let's begin our journey into understanding the needs of these fascinating creatures and how we can help them flourish in our landscapes. This handbook was developed by Paul Edgar, Jim Foster, and John Baker, with input from a wide range of reptile ecologists and site managers. It's designed to help land managers and conservationists make informed decisions that benefit reptiles. The guidance is based on collective experience and research, aiming to fill the gap in practical advice for reptile-friendly management. The handbook also acknowledges the support of organizations like Amphibian and Reptile Conservation and Natural England, highlighting the collaborative effort behind reptile conservation in Britain. Reptiles in Great Britain have suffered significant declines, mainly due to habitat loss, degradation, and fragmentation. Even protected sites aren't always safe, as standard management doesn't always meet reptile needs. Sometimes well-intentioned actions can even harm local populations. This handbook encourages positive, targeted measures for reptiles across various land uses, from nature reserves to farmland and garden. Understanding why habitat structure and connectivity are crucial is the first step in revering these declines and supporting reptile recovery. Britain is home to 6 native terrestrial reptiles: the sand lizard, viviparous or common lizard, slowworm, smooth snake, grass snake, and adder. Each species has unique habitat needs and distribution patterns. For example, sand lizards are now limited to specific regions due to habitat loss, while viviparous lizards are more widespread but still patchy. Understanding the basic ecology and requirements of each species is vital for effective habitat management and conservation planning. Sand lizard is one of Britain's rarest reptiles, found mainly on lowland heathland and sand dunes. It requires warm, sheltered sites with varied topography, especially south-facing slopes. Sandy substrates are essential for egg laying, and adults are mostly confined to mature, dry heath areas. The sand lizard's decline is closely linked to habitat destruction and fragmentation, but targeted reintroductions have helped restore populations in some regions. Maintaining suitable habitat structure is key to their survival. Viviparous or common lizards are more adaptable than sand lizards, occupying a wide range of habitats from heathland and grassland to woodland edges and even gardens. They prefer sites with diverse vegetation structure and sunny areas, often thriving in damp or wet locations with abundant grass tussocks. However, they avoid uniform or heavily managed areas. Their ability to give birth to live young gives them an advantage in cooler climates, but habitat loss and reduced diversity still threaten their populations. Slowworms are legless lizards often mistaken for snakes. They are widely distributed but most abundant in southern England. Slowworms inhabit a variety of places including gardens, grasslands, and woodland edges as long as there is enough cover and warmth. They are primarily fossorial, spending much of their time underground or hidden in vegetation. Their diet consists mainly of soft-bodied invertebrates like slugs and worms. Despite being common, slowworms have also suffered from habitat loss. Smooth snake is Britain's rarest native snake, found only in southern England, mainly on lowland heathland. It prefers mature, structurally diverse dry heath with dense ground cover, often sharing habitat with sand lizards. Smooth snakes are secretive and have limited dispersal abilities, making them especially vulnerable to habitat fragmentation. Their diet includes other reptiles and small mammals. Conservation efforts focus on protecting and restoring suitable heathland habitat. Grass snakes are Britain's most mobile reptiles, often associated with wetlands but also found in grasslands, woodlands, and gardens. They require sunny areas for basking and decomposing organic material for egg laying. Grass snakes feed mainly on amphibians and fish, and their ability to move over long distances helps them find suitable habitats. However, loss of egg laying and foraging sites has led to declines in some areas, making habitat connectivity important for their survival. Adder is widespread but patchy in Britain, favoring lighter soils and habitats like heathland, moorland, and grassland with dense cover. Adders require sunny, open areas near dense vegetation for basking and shelter. They are known for their seasonal movements between breeding, foraging, and hibernation sites. Adders have suffered severe declines due to habitat loss and deliberate killing, despite legal protection. Maintaining suitable habitat structure and connectivity is vital for their conservation. Reptiles in Britain face a range of threats, with habitat degradation and loss being the most significant. Overshading from lack of management, changes in land use, fire, and habitat fragmentation all contribute to population declines. Other threats include predation by domestic animals, invasive plant species, and disturbance from public access. Understanding these threats is essential for developing effective management strategies that protect and enhance reptile habitat. All native reptiles in Great Britain are legally protected under various acts and regulations. The sand lizard and smooth snake receive the highest level of protection, making it an offense to harm them or their habitats. Other species are protected against killing and unlicensed trade. Sites of special scientific interest, SSSIs, may be designated for their reptile populations, and management must comply with legal requirements. Understanding these laws helps ensure that conservation actions are both effective and compliant. All 6 native reptiles are listed as priority species in the UK Biodiversity Action Plan, BAP. These plans outline actions to conserve and restore populations, including habitat management and monitoring. The BAP framework also integrates reptile conservation into broader biodiversity strategies, ensuring that reptiles are considered in land management decisions. Public bodies have a duty to conserve biodiversity, making it important to identify and manage sites that support reptiles. Site managers play a crucial role in reptile conservation. They must balance the needs of reptiles with other site interests, comply with legal requirements, and implement management practices that avoid harming reptiles. This includes careful timing of activities, maintaining habitat structure, and monitoring impacts. Managers should also seek advice when planning large-scale projects and ensure that habitat connectivity is maintained both within and beyond site boundaries. Reptile habitat management should be integrated with broader conservation strategies, such as ecosystem and landscape-scale approaches. While general habitat management can benefit many species, reptiles often require specific conditions that must be addressed. Ensuring habitat connectivity and structural diversity supports not only reptiles, but also a wide range of other wildlife. Incorporating reptiles into management plans enhances overall biodiversity and ecosystem health. Reptiles are particularly sensitive to climate change due to their reliance on external temperatures. Changes in climate can alter habitat suitability, affect hibernation and breeding, and increase risks like fire and drought. Strategies to help reptiles adapt include maximizing microhabitat diversity and establishing ecological networks to facilitate movement between habitat patches. These actions are consistent with sound habitat management and help buffer reptiles against climate impacts. Reptile habitat requirements can be summarized as warmth, structural complexity, and habitat connectivity. While some factors like climate and soil type are beyond management control, many key needs can be addressed through thoughtful planning. Providing a mosaic of open, sunny areas and dense cover, maintaining habitat links, and ensuring suitable sites for hibernation and breeding are all essential for supporting healthy reptile populations. Reptiles are ectothermic, relying on external warmth to regulate their body temperature. Open, sunny habitats with low vegetation cover are crucial for basking and maintaining optimal temperatures. South-facing slopes and varied topography provide the best basking opportunities. Direct sunlight also supports physiological processes such as vitamin D3 production. Ensuring access to sun-exposed areas is a cornerstone of reptile habitat management. Reptiles need both warmth and shelter to avoid overheating, desiccation, and predation. Structurally diverse habitats provide a mix of open areas for basking and dense cover for cooling and protection. Windbreaks from woodland edges, scrub, and hedgerows create warm microhabitats and reduce wind chill. Access to humid environments helps reptiles cope with hot, dry weather, allowing them to remain active or enter periods of inactivity as needed. During winter, reptiles enter hibernation or extended torpor to escape the cold. Hibernation sites must be frost-free, humid, and safe from flooding and predators. Typical sites include burrows, rotting tree stumps, grass tussocks, and rubble piles, often with a south-facing aspect. Some species like adders use communal hibernacula, making these sites critical for population survival. Identifying and protecting hibernation sites is a key management priority. Hibernation sites can include root systems, rocky crevices, rabbit warrens, brash piles, compost heaps, and building rubble. These locations provide the necessary conditions for safe overwintering. Damage to a single large hibernaculum can severely impact local populations, especially on small sites. Spring surveys can help identify these sites, as reptiles often bask nearby after emerging from hibernation. All British reptiles are carnivorous, relying on habitats that support their prey. Legged lizards eat insects and other invertebrates, slowworms prefer slugs and worms, smooth snakes consume other reptiles and small mammals, grass snakes feed on amphibians and fish, and adders mainly eat small mammals. Ensuring a healthy prey base is fundamental to maintaining reptile populations, making habitat quality and diversity essential. Vegetation cover near basking sites is vital for reptiles to escape predators. Thorny plants like gorse and bramble offer especially good refuge. A mosaic of open basking areas and dense cover allows reptiles to thermoregulate while staying safe. Habitat management should aim to maintain this balance, providing both sun-exposed and sheltered spots throughout the site. Reptile breeding encompasses courtship, mating, egg-laying, incubation, and birth. Structurally diverse habitats encourage high population densities and provide secluded areas for breeding activities. Egg-laying reptiles like sand lizards and grass snakes have specific requirements. Sand lizards need bare semi-compacted sand, while grass snakes lay eggs in decomposing organic material. Creating and maintaining these features is crucial for reproductive success. Reptiles require sufficiently large and connected habitats to support viable populations. Their limited dispersal abilities mean that isolated patches can lead to inbreeding and local extinctions. Maintaining habitat connectivity, both within sites and across landscapes, allows for movement, genetic exchange, and recolonization after disturbances. Features like hedgerows, field margins, and habitat corridors are valuable for linking population. While some reptiles have very specific habitat needs, many can thrive in a range of structurally diverse environments. Heathland, moorland, grasslands, scrub, woodland edges, wetlands, sand dunes, and even gardens can provide suitable conditions if managed appropriately. The key is maintaining a fine-scale mosaic of open areas and vegetation cover, rather than focusing solely on plant species composition. Transitional zones, or ecotones, between different habitat types are especially valuable for reptiles. These areas offer a diversity of microhabitats and microclimates, supporting a range of species. Examples include sunny woodland edges, grassland scrub interfaces, and areas with varying sward heights. Managing and maintaining these interfaces increases habitat suitability and supports higher reptile density. Reptiles occupy dynamic, successional habitats and often require specific stages for optimal conditions. Without intervention, many habitats revert to woodland, which may not suit all reptiles. Management is necessary to maintain the open, structurally diverse habitats that reptiles prefer. This includes interrupting natural succession through activities like grazing, cutting, or controlled burning to preserve the right balance of open and covered areas. Favorable reptile habitats include moorland, rough grassland with bramble, chalk grassland with scrub, open woodland with sunny glades, pond set in diverse terrestrial habitats, and even sea walls. These examples illustrate the variety of environments where reptiles can thrive, provided that the right structural diversity and microhabitats are present. Site managers should look for opportunities to enhance these features in their own areas. Effective reptile habitat management is built on several key principles: providing sufficient habitat extent, ensuring connectivity, maintaining warmth and shelter, supporting diverse vegetation structure, and safeguarding hibernation sites. Management should be tailored to the needs of the species present, with attention to both small and large-scale habitat features. Incorporating reptile requirements into general management is often straightforward and can benefit other wildlife as well. Habitat must be large enough to support viable reptile populations and avoid genetic problems. Lizards can persist in smaller patches, while snakes often require larger areas. Managers should assess how reptiles use their sites and seek opportunities to link habitat patches, either through continuous blocks or corridors like hedgerows and field margins. Increasing connectivity sustains larger populations and reduces extinction risk. Maintaining continuous availability of suitable habitat is crucial, especially on isolated sites. Management activities like scrub removal or grazing should be staged, not applied to the entire site at once. This ensures that reptiles always have access to the resources they need and prevents population crashes from sudden habitat changes. Planning for temporal continuity helps sustain healthy populations over time. Developing a management plan for reptiles involves several steps: auditing the site, setting clear objectives, considering constraints, and planning implementation. Ongoing monitoring is essential to assess the impact of management actions and make adjustments as needed. Consultation with experts and stakeholders can provide valuable insights and help resolve conflicts between different site interests. Thorough site audit is the foundation of effective habitat management. This includes reviewing existing records, consulting with local groups, and conducting surveys to determine reptile presence and habitat use. Long-term surveys are especially useful, as reptile activity can vary throughout the year. Mapping areas of low, medium, and high suitability helps prioritize management actions and protect key features like hibernation sites. Once the species and important habitat features have been identified, managers should set clear objectives. These might include preventing arson, reducing disturbance, maintaining habitat mosaics, increasing suitable habitat area, and creating egg-laying sites. Engaging the local community in site management and education can also support conservation goals and foster stewardship. Habitat management often involves balancing multiple objectives and constraints. Legal requirements, funding limitations, and the needs of other species or habitats can all influence management decisions. Public perception may also affect what actions are feasible. Managers must navigate these challenges to ensure that reptile conservation remains a priority and that actions are both effective and acceptable. Timing of management activities can greatly affect their impact on reptiles. Most substantial work should be done in winter when reptiles are hibernating, but care must be taken not to damage hibernation sites. Some tasks, like bracken control, are best done in summer when reptiles are active, requiring extra precautions. Proper timing reduces the risk of harm and increases the effectiveness of management action. For implementing management plans, it's important to assess the potential impacts on reptiles and other species. For example, mowing an entire grassland at once can be harmful, while staged or targeted management can minimize risks. Impact assessments help identify and mitigate potential problems, ensuring that conservation actions do more good than harm. Ongoing monitoring is essential to track the effectiveness of management actions and adapt as needed. Surveys and habitat assessments provide data on reptile populations and habitat quality. Adaptive management allows site managers to respond to new information, refine their approaches, and ensure long-term success in reptile conservation. Conflicts can arise when the needs of reptiles clash with other site interests or management objectives. The handbook provides guidance on identifying the nature of conflicts and considering factors to reach a resolution. Open communication, stakeholder engagement, and a willingness to compromise are key to finding solutions that benefit reptiles and other site users. Range of habitat management methods can be used to benefit reptiles, including cutting, mowing, grazing, controlled burning, scrub and tree management, and bracken control. Each method has its advantages and risks and should be applied carefully to avoid harming reptiles. The handbook reviews these techniques and provides practical advice on their application in reptile habitats. Specific habitat features can greatly enhance sites for reptiles. These include brash and log piles, reptile banks, grass snake egg-laying heaps, and sand patches for sand lizards. Creating and maintaining these features provides essential resources for breeding, shelter, and thermoregulation, supporting higher reptile densities and reproductive success. Reptile conservation isn't limited to nature reserves. Opportunities exist in farmland, forestry, transport corridors, golf courses, gardens, allotments, churchyards, and utility sites. By incorporating reptile-friendly practices into these land uses, managers can expand habitat availability and connectivity, supporting wider reptile populations across the landscape. Engaging people is both a challenge and an opportunity in reptile conservation. Public access can sometimes harm habitats, but with education and involvement, communities can become valuable allies. The handbook discusses ways to manage interactions between reptiles and people, reduce negative impacts, and foster positive relationships that support conservation goals. Managing habitats for reptiles is a rewarding and vital part of conserving Britain's biodiversity. By understanding their needs, applying sound management principles, and engaging with stakeholders, we can help reptiles thrive. Continued learning, monitoring, and adaptation will ensure that our efforts remain effective. For more information, consult the handbook and reach out to conservation organizations for advice and support.